Absolutely. We always talk about you need a full squad to win an Ashes series, a 5 Test match series, and again, I think that's one of the things I'm most proud about this group is whatever cricket team I've ever been in, there's always been something that goes wrong at any time, and it's how you deal with that. And this group's just amazing of just cracking on, and what's the job that needs to get done, we'll just go and do it. So there's been huge disruption. With some of the players, I've missed a couple of games, but the way that Steve can just jump in and it's seamless. Other players who are on the fringe can jump in and be match winners straight away. I think it's a huge credit to Andrew McDonald and the coaching staff and the medical staff that we feel like we've got a big squad that we can draw on. Yeah, I think if you asked me 5 years ago, I would have been really nervous before going to the game. Even 6 months ago when we were mapping out the prep, before I knew I had an injury, the conversation was whether it was 1 or 2 Shield games. So that was obviously very disrupted, but I think we mapped out the plan was going to give me as much preparation as I could, and I felt like it all went seamlessly. I trained really well, had really good sessions. So coming to this test, I knew that I'd ticked off everything that I possibly could, which in some ways relaxes you as a player a bit. You've done the work. So whilst I hadn't played much, I felt pretty well suited to kind of come in, and I didn't think it was going to feel as foreign after a 6-month break as I said, 5-10 years ago, I reckon it would have felt pretty foreign. I know some of the talk before the series was the age profile of the team. I think that's one of our strengths actually. And the guys who have come in, Brendan Doggett, Nessa, Bo Webb's on the sidelines as well. I'm sure I've missed 1 or 2 here, but they've been the star performers in the domestic cricket for a long time. Whilst it doesn't guarantee your performance, that if they do get the chance, they're pretty well suited. And again, I think it does come back down to coaching and hopefully the team environment. They feel like they can be themselves. They don't need to be a different player when they walk in here. We're big on that, championing their strengths and not feeling like they're not being dogmatic about a certain way you've got to play. It's just you play to your strengths, and you'll have a place in this team. So,
Pat, clearly you've beaten England, but do you feel like in the way you've made them change their approach over the last 2 or 3 innings, even that you've beaten Bazball as well and knocked that stuff in out of them?
Look, they seem to have changed their style quite a bit, game to game. I think that can happen in overseas conditions. You're always trying to fight for a method that works. Day 2 I thought was surprising. It was 40-odd degrees. It was hot. It was a very flat wicket, and they shut up shop there for half of the day, which I was pretty happy with. So who knows? I'm sure they'll talk about it and find come at us, with different plans for Melbourne and Sydney. I'm glad that we've been able to, stick to our guns and play the way that we play best, and it's worked.